to the same motherfucker hating on me last week. I've been running around and sitting, no patience. We are so close, like a motherfucking taste it. Came a long way from the motherfucking basement. Working overtime, so no wonder why I wonder where the day went.
Hey, what's going on, folks? Stormwolf here, and today we're going to be talking about Naruto the Boruto Shinobi Strikers. The game is finally out. I believe it's been out since Thursday. I've put a couple of hours into it. I haven't been able to do too many videos or streaming just due to other issues, but I figured I would go ahead and convey my thoughts on the full game now that it's out. I've played a couple of hours of it, and I can give you a more general understanding of how I feel about the game. So, first off, comparing it from the last beta that we played, the game is a lot more stable, and what I mean by that is the connections are really good. Hit detection is also really good, especially for melee fighters. That was something I was really worried about throughout the beta impressions, because as you know, for those who've played the beta, the hit detection wasn't that great, especially for melee fighters or anything like that. So glad to see that they improved on that, and now it's actually at a stable rate to where I feel like my punches and my kicks actually do something as a taijutsu user. So that's really good. There's a good amount of jutsus to learn from each one of the characters. So the way it works is that you train under a certain character, and what I mean by train is you pretty much have them as your master, and you complete missions and objectives and do online battles, and you'll raise your rank with them, and as you raise your rank, you'll get more jutsus that are specific to that character. So for example, Pain, you get the Almighty Push, the Universal Pull, Planetary Devastation, so on and so forth. And so you can do this with each, I believe, the 24 characters that are in this game. And I'd imagine as we progress further, there'll be DLC characters, you'll be having new teachers, new jutsus and stuff like that to learn. So I can definitely see this game as like the Naruto Xenoverse, right? Where you have new jutsus and new story missions, or not necessarily story missions, but new co-op missions where you can earn new loot and stuff like that. Another thing that actually really surprised me is the way they handle combat. So the way combat is handled in a sense is you can actually equip different types of weapons, and each one of these weapons actually have different types of animations. So for example, we'll go with the attack style. They use either gloves or the brass knuckles that I think Asama used, and each one of those actually have different types of animations. Some attack a little bit faster, some a little bit slower, some actually hit a little bit harder. And I really didn't expect that because we didn't see any of that in any of the betas, because you couldn't equip weapons. You could equip different costumes, but you couldn't have different types of swords, different types of knuckles and stuff like that. And that's for each one of the 4 classes, so that's actually really cool. It actually allows you to customize your character a lot further than you can, say, in Xenoverse, to where everyone has the same animation and same moveset. Granted, of course, there's not too many type of variety, but it is something, and I think it's something that Xenoverse can actually take a note from, is to add different types of attack animations for, you know, the different races that they have in their game. But moving on from there, clothes are actually important as well, because clothes actually do offer you a stat boost. Some offer you a little bit more health, some shorten your revive time, so on and so forth. So this game actually has a lot more depth than I gave it credit for, and I didn't realize that because, again, the betas and the demos didn't really show off that depth when we played. It was more so for network testing, which I understand that is more for network testing. I'm glad they actually, you know, focused on that, because I think in the end it made the game that much better because the network is stable. I barely have the connection issues that I had when we first played the first beta, and the second beta, and then the open beta. So I think all that time they spent into it, it really did pull off. And you know, you got to give credit where credit is due. They actually improved the game. I can't complain about that. My biggest concern with the game, it was in fact the online play, and for now, it's very stable. Now, some of my concerns with the game is still the only online portion of it. You have to be online to play this game. There's no type of single player. You have to connect to a server, and you have to be pretty much in a lobby all the time. So that's one of my biggest concerns about it for those who like single player. Unfortunately, this game isn't for you because it doesn't provide that content. But there are missions that you can do co-op if you don't really like the PvP aspect of the game. There's a good amount of missions ranking, I think, from D to S rank. And each one of these, some of them have story significance, like they're cut directly from the Naruto universe story. Some are just random missions, such as protecting Hinata or, you know, defeating 100 samurai, stuff like that. So there's a variety of missions that you can do, and these can all be played with, I believe it's either one person with the AI companion or up to 4 people and stuff like that. And some of these missions actually are really hard and difficult to where you will need backup. So that's good for those who like PvE. PvP is what you expect so far. So far, there's only Quick Match and the Ninja League Tournament, and I believe the only 2 options to play are Base Battle and then Team Deathmatch. I don't think they've unlocked the other modes just yet for online play in that regard. I know there was also Capture the Flag, which I haven't seen yet, which they may rotate around, and I believe there's one more game mode, but I don't know exactly what the game mode is. But so far, just as a first impressions after a couple hours with the game, I'm really enjoying it. I think it's a lot of fun. I think they fixed a lot of issues that I had with the game, and it's almost worth the full purchase. I will say that for now. At least, again, this is just the first impressions on it. I would say I'm happy with my purchase so far. I've been playing the game a little bit with my brother. I plan on hopefully being able to do some type of streams or some type of videos with people, just to kind of make some content on the game, because I think the game's really fun as well. But as of now, I think the game's worth checking out at the very least. If you can rent it from a Redbox or you can borrow it from a friend, you know, definitely give it a check. You know, check it out, see if you like it. If you're a fan of Xenoverse, it plays similar to Xenoverse in regards to, you know, there's a lot of customization options, a lot of costumes, a lot of ways to customize your character, you know, make them your Shinobi. And that's kind of the draw of this game, is to make your own Shinobi the way you want. And I think that's really cool, and I think they've nailed that aspect in regards to, you know, being able to create your own ninja in the ninja world. So hopefully they improve upon that with future updates and DLC, which I'm sure they will. Namco Bandai has been pretty good about updating their games at least a year with content and stuff like that. Look at Xenoverse, for example. Xenoverse has been out for almost, I think, 3 years now, and they're still having Xenoverse come out with content. So it just goes to show that they can be dedicated to these games, you know, if the fan base is as well. So, and I know the Naruto fan base is pretty big, so I could expect some content to come out for this game. But we'll see what happens in the future, but that's just my general thoughts on it so far. That's what I think is a first impression of it after playing some hours of gameplay, playing some of the story missions, or not story missions, some of the co-op missions, and some of the online play. I think right now it's a solid title, and I think you should definitely check it out.